Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
I'm Laurie Kilmartin, and
I just had lunch with one of our fans, Martha Kelly.
I love Martha Kelly. She's so funny. She's so funny.
She's the best.
And she's a good person, you know.
Yep.
There's no one like her, and I wish there were more of Martha Kelly, the one Martha Kelly, and more people were like Martha Kelly.
Yep. Hard agree.
Yeah, that would be great. Mm-hmm. So
stand-up comedy.
Yes.
I'm in favor of it.
Right.
I did a lot of sets this week. Remember last week I was talking about no shows, and then I did the Zoom show, and then I had forgotten that I told Jason Van Glass that I would do the pack at 10 o'clock. Luckily, he emailed me and said, if you could get there at 9:45, that'd be great. And I was like, it is 9.
And you're in your pajamas?
Right. Very close. I can hear
What's
a
happening?
lot. I don't know. I think it's Kyle moving his stuff around. We're using a new interface. I can't see Laurie anymore. I don't know why your camera's off, or I just can't see you. But maybe
it's on.
It must be being recorded elsewhere. It'll be very beautiful. Or it'll just be me and Kyle. You guys.
I'm here, and I can see you. This is very offensive.
And well, it ought to be.
This feels like... Oh, go ahead. This feels like just how I... Kyle, what are you doing over there?
You might have to move your... Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to it's going to take a second. People who... I almost said Rangers of the Dork Forest, but you guys haven't named yourselves yet, the Jackie and Laurie fans. You might just call yourself comics. That's what I think.
Call yourselves open micers.
Call yourself... no, just comedians at varying levels. And...
I think the higher they get up in comedy, the less they listen. Like, I think they're real hardcore at the open mic phase, and then the more they feature in headline, they start to drop off. That's my theory.
And then when you stop doing it entirely for a year, like Martha Kelly, you start listening again. No, I have no idea.
Back.
Well, she hasn't done stand up. She said in about a year, and I consistently ask her if she'll go up, and she's like, "Not this day, Satan, not this day."
We should do her, talk to her for the Patreon.
I thought we did. Did we not?
We did?
No, I don't
know. Oh, I don't think so.
Everybody who's on the Patreon, feel free to email me and tell me that you did. Or we.
You know what? But we do have Aparna and Sherla who sat down with us, and we talked for 30 minutes. And if you're a Patreon subscriber for $5 a month, that's it. It's $1.25 per show. I think it's almost worth it. Then you get that bonus.
You guys, Laurie thinks it's almost worth it. So think about it. And, yes.
After our sound issues of the first 15 seconds of this podcast, it's clearly not worth it. Jackie, I was so grateful for that Zoom show. Thank you so much. I really needed it. It was on Monday. It was on Labor Day. I had nothing going on, and I was going crazy.
Right. Me too. I was like, I need to do a show, and then I posted that I hadn't done a set in a while, and a couple of people were like, why don't you just do a Zoom show? So I did a very impromptu Zoom show. 111 people showed up. It was a freebie. You know, like back during lockdown, there was a project and a spreadsheet, and I would say, send me $5 and then I'll send you a link, and then you'll register and then you'll get a thing. But this thing, I was just like, here. Come on.
Right.
And we didn't have any Zoom bombers. It was just me, you, and Amanda Cohen.
Yeah.
Doing shows, doing sets, and super fun. I asked other people. I texted Kyle. He couldn't do it.
You threw it out there. You did your due diligence, and it was just the three of us. Well, that's the way that went. Sorry, gang.
Yep. It was a good, I mean, essentially it was about probably 45 minutes to stand up. And then I looked at everybody's dogs and cats, and then we all went about our lives. It was pretty great.
Yes. Now, I did get feedback during my Zoom set, and on stage or after the shows in Seattle this week about being flippant about the injury sustained by the woman who got hot coffee spilled on her lap.
Oh, No.
Hey,
That's
you
gotta
know
have
what?
happened 30 years ago. That's insane.
She has some ardent fans,
Right.
and I noted. Okay, I don't want to lose people because they're wincing, thinking because they read the wiki. Okay, because it's not when you read the Wikipedia, it is a little like, ooh. So here's I always preach ignorance, and you should only get your news from the comedian. Don't look deeper into the story they're talking about. That's number one. But yeah, I can move a few things around. I don't want to lose people that see. There seems to be a lot of people that know, you know, she was severely burned. So
Uh,
okay, I got it. I got it.
well, I guess I should reconsider my cyanide and the Tylenol bit. Uh, that happened 50 years ago, and people are still sad. Is that 50 years ago? 1980? 40, 45, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. People died, Jackie. People died.
People did die. My Uncle Tom died in a copycat incident. It's a great
What?
story. Oh, yeah.
Tell me. I didn't know this.
I've told this story so many times. I tried to do it on This American Life. I used it as a credit, you guys. Recorded an episode of This American Life. They never aired it.
Yes.
They never paid me. And they wanted to talk to my Aunt Shelley. And I was like, why don't we leave my Aunt Shelley alone? And they said, well, what about her kids? And I said, let's leave them alone even more. And then I threw my Aunt Pam, her sister, under the bus. And my Aunt Pam came on and talked to Ira Glass. And then he was like, we really need to talk to either the kids or Shelley. And I said,
and this is about the death of your uncle.
yes. And I said,
Wow.
right, and her husband and their dad. And I said, you can do it. I can give you their phone numbers, but I'm not going to be there for it because I don't want to. Because my Uncle Tom was a bad guy. He was not a good person. Tried to slip me the tongue when I was 12. Huh? That's a bad guy.
Jackie, we've all got an uncle like that.
Right.
You know?
That's why I don't tell that part too often, because everyone does have an uncle like that. But you know what? It's still not okay. And
No.
here's the thing. If you look it up, it was a copycat incident in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Someone put cyanide in a can of Coke and someone died. And that was my Uncle Tom.
Oh my God. Now, was he slipping his tongue into the Coke when he
was trying to poison my Aunt Shelley for the insurance money. And she never believed. She was like, she thought that there was a great injustice, but they found a spoon with cyanide in his dead pocket. All the cops could figure was that he took a sip of the Coke to see if you could taste the cyanide. He was also not a smart man.
Well, wait, so that's not a copycat. He was trying to murder her. You're saying he was the copycat.
He was the copycat and the victim. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Wow. Interesting.
I've been trying to tell that story to Karen Kilgariff for probably 7 years on her podcast, the Murder Podcast. But
yes, of course.
It never happened. And now everybody's heard it. And I did it in my solo show, I think in 2000, back in the day.
Wow.
Because it happened in like 84.
Well, Jackie, it seems like maybe there's no more meat on that bone, but I don't know. I mean, maybe
I don't know. Got a pretty good reaction out of you, and here we are. I don't know.
Fascinated.
3 minutes into the show, and I got to. That was a real clock eater. No, we're probably 10 minutes in, but okay. I will say I got to do. So I did that show, and then Friday and Saturday, I had a logistics kind of issue with I had an early show one place, and then shows that started in Los Angeles. When shows start at the same time, and you want to do a set at both of them, you have to go. I have to go up first. You have to make sure this hat store starts right on time, because I need to go up last. You have to make sure that this hat store starts whatever the hell it wants. And so I did Blast from the Past, the toy store in Burbank, which started at 7. Or 7:30, something like that. And then I did the chicken place over in Glendale. That was the outdoor.
The outdoor one. Yeah.
And was her name Taya? Their name I think is Taya. I forget their name. They had a very funny joke about they them and how they are they them. and they will be a they them until there is a new pronoun that will make them even more unique and interesting. And I was like, I love the self-awareness of that person. And
Yes.
then there were punchlines. So, but I love that premise. It was a great one.
I love it too.
So, but I got to do both of those shows because of the. And then last night I did Flappers opening for Pardo, and then I
Yeah.
had an improv show. So his show was to start at 7. I was to do 20 minutes, and then I had an 8:10 set at the improv main room. And I asked Rita if I could go last, but Orny was going last. Orny Adams.
Yeah.
And he insisted that we had met before, and I'm like, I only know you from that Seinfeld movie.
You haven't met Orny? He's around all the time. What?
New York guy, I think, isn't he?
But he lives here. He's here all the time. I see him all the time when I'm at clubs.
I guess
working.
I never. He actually said to me, "We've met enough that we hug now, Jackie." And I was like, okay. He's very funny. I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he got I thought he got screwed in that documentary, quite honestly, because every time he was on stage, I was like, oh, that guy's funny. And then every time off stage, I was like, oh, they're not cutting this to flatter him. And then he'd get back on stage, and I'd be like, that guy's funny.
Yeah, I mean, and you're at Montreal. Every comic is insane at Montreal, especially, you're doing new faces. You think you're about to explode on the scene. I mean, you're
Especially
bananas.
then.
Of course he's going to be nuts. Well, that's cool. I was in, let's see. So I did your Zoom show, and then I think I did a couple flappers, but one of them was was it this week or last week that was with Mary Lynn and the cops were up front? Did I tell you that last week?
Yeah, that was last week. That was so funny.
All right, so this week I was one of the comics in front of Marsha Warfield. She had there's about 4 of us, and we did between 5 and 8, and then we just hung out, Mary Lynn and I, and watched her, and she's great. She won the San Francisco Comedy Competition in 1979.
What?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
She's like a living tie to the first. She is one of the first generation of club comics, and she's still out, and she's funny. And she must have been super young, because she's 69 now, so she must have been in her early 20s or something when she won it. But a lot of people an established San Francisco comic was like, the lady from Night Court does stand up. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Yes, she started stand up in San Francisco. How do you not know that?
Right.
But she talked about just leaving Night Court and retiring, and not kind of not chasing anymore. She talked about getting old, and I kind of ranted about this on Instagram, but it was nice to hear somebody older than me, 10 years older than me, talk about getting old, instead of me hearing a 40-year-old talking about getting old, which I really had it, because you're not fucking old. I don't want to hear it. All right.
Did you love your 40s?
Well, they kicked off with a pregnancy and a baby, so they were different than how I anticipated.
It's true. One of my favorite jokes of yours right from the beginning was, I used my age as birth control. That's such a great joke. No,
what did you use for birth control? My age.
Yes.
That's okay.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, I have to correct you.
Order of operations, everyone.
Yes, okay. Yes. Yeah. And then she was talking about marijuana, which she enjoys and has for a while. And Mary Lynn goes, she's really in her element when she's talking about weed. And it's like, yeah, she is. But she's always had an incredible stage presence. She's on stage and you're just listening to her, And that
did she
that
do
might
a
be
long
from
set?
She did an hour.
Oh, cool.
That might be from either decades of stand up, I think. I think lately she's coming back, but maybe she took time off stand up. So it's nice to see somebody took some time off after decades, and they still have it. They didn't lose it.
Right.
Yep. So it was really cool, and she's very nice. We met her afterwards, and she treated me like a young comic. I was like, I'm from San Francisco too, and she's like, oh, good luck. I'm like, I love it. This is so cool.
That's awesome. Did you hear
Yeah.
that today when this airs? So tomorrow in real life,
Yes.
there's no picketing. I was gonna picket tomorrow, but there's no picketing tomorrow because of 9/11.
Right, Jackie, you have a habit of announcing you're going to pick it on national holidays. Well, I
Labor
remember
Day was gonna pick
I
it.
remember July
Memorial
4th.
Day.
You swore to pick it. So yeah, I can't wait for your Christmas announcement. If it goes that long.
Oh, it'll go. Um, yes. What I have to say about my flapper set, which was, I don't know, it wasn't super full. Pardo's been doing a monthly show there.
Yeah.
Jimmy, yeah. So he's like, the numbers are down. I don't know if this is sustainable. And I was like, well, whatever, man. If you want to work on material, this is what you do, right? And so, but it was so fun. You know how the Yoo-Hoo room can be super fun.
Yeah.
It's like the lab,
Yeah.
right? Hit and miss.
It's great.
Most of the time hit. And so I had a really good time in front of his audience there. And then
Yeah.
I went to the Improv, and the Improv wasn't packed on a Saturday first show. And they were tight, and they were weirdly tight. Moses Storm went up before me. He has a great new premise. I don't know if you know this about Moses Storm. First of all, everybody's 32. There's still 32-year-olds in the world.
You're preaching to the choir, lady. I hear you.
And so, but he had this great thing about how he found his birth father, and his birth father is gay, QAnon, and a massage therapist.
Oh my God.
And
his actual life is insane. It's if you from start to now, it's insane.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah. Well, he just said he had one line. I mean, the whole thing. There's so much there, but the one line that I really liked was that QAnon is Scientology for people who can't afford Scientology, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really funny, and I think he just did a run in Edinburgh, and I just going from what I saw on Instagram, he had the audience dressing up like Moonies or something like that. Like it was something
weird.
about a religious cult.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta catch up on what's happening there artistically, but it looked like it was pretty successful.
Well, that's neat. I have to say, I have had a lot of international chitter chat. Did you know that there's a room in Luxembourg?
There was, and it went away, but is there a new one?
Yep. Because I'm working on, so next October, I think I might go to Germany and Luxembourg and wherever else they'll let me. Because there is the biggest board game convention in the world is in Essen, Germany. October 2nd through the 5th. I could drop Andy off there, do a run, come pick him up, and we can go, I don't know, we could go to the saddest attic in the world. We could go, because there's a gig in Amsterdam, too. We could go. I meant to go to Berlin in '89 when I traveled around Europe. And that would have been the time to go to Berlin. But I was told that the gigs in Berlin are not, that there's a lot of comedy in Berlin, but it doesn't pay well.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay money in like
if
Frankfurt.
You're an American, it offsets a vacation, but it's not livable if you're gonna move there or something.
Or sustainable if you want to pay for air and hotel.
Right.
So
right.
Though, so I'm working on sort of a European run next October. So it's a year from now.
Yeah.
I'm working on an Australian run next April. And then I'm going to Pittsburgh in November. Laurie, I'm willing to go anywhere is what's happening. And
all three glamorous locations, Jackie.
Willing to do weird door deals is what Cation is doing right now. I need work. I don't have any, I'm not working the clubs. So I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. See if I can.
I'm as
See if
I'm
I
as
can.
stressed as you are.
Yeah. See if I can fill some rooms, make some money,
Right.
and do what I and I would like right now. I have what I think. I thought all of my mother-in-law, those 4 or 5 mother-in-law jokes, I thought they were done. They're not working very well right now, so they are clearly not done.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you move them? Are they following some material that doesn't help them or
Yeah,
bumps with them or something?
maybe
Attitude
I
wise,
think
maybe?
yeah, I think I was opening with them before and I'm not anymore.
Mm,
They do deserve to be good. They're good openers, right? Because they do
yeah.
introduce me and
Yeah.
what's going on currently. So maybe that'll be the opener for because my next road gig is Minneapolis,
Hmm.
week of the 20th, and yeah, and then I mean I am doing Ann Arbor. Are you doing Ann Arbor this year, or did you already do
No.
it? Or okay,
No. Um,
all right,
you have to text him, right?
yep, Roger,
Okay. All
make
right.
a
I'm
note,
making a little
make a
note.
note. Right,
Okay.
I
Uh,
was just looking. Do you ever do this? You ever look at your calendar from last year and go, why am I not doing that again? It's been a year.
Jackie, I have clubs like commenting on bits that I'm doing on Instagram that aren't booking me, that I know Bruce is emailing. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Do you not
right.
like me anymore?
But the
What
booker
happened?
doesn't do the Instagram, right? I mean, that's the real problem.
I don't know. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah, yeah,
It's very frustrating.
yeah.
Like
But I was looking
clubs.
like last November and December. I did so much Michigan. I was at Dr.
Oh, right.
Grin's. I
Yeah.
was at Traverse City. Yeah, so I may have to either light a fire or initiate contact myself and see what can be done. The guy
Yeah.
in Lowell, he wanted me to come in April, but
Oh,
I
in
asked,
Arkansas?
yeah, but I asked him for a fair wage, and he's thinking about
I
it.
know. He
Yeah,
never replied. Yeah, I mean, I was in Seattle this weekend at
good,
Laughs,
good,
and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. There, there were fun audiences.
good.
You know, some
Yeah.
kookiness. It
How
was it
many?
was good.
Did you record? Do you have crowd work
Oh
clips
yeah,
coming?
yeah. Here's the
Okay.
thing. I don't know. Like if I was like if I had people doing it for me, there are comics that travel with a little team. I don't know how people are fucking affording this. But they have people recording, and those people will just be taking camera angles all day long and posting it to get people to that of like last night's show, to get people to come to the tonight show. Like if I
Yeah.
get around to these tapes, it'll be 3 months from now at best.
Well,
And
and I
then
think I I
it,
think they're evergreen. Quite honestly, you can use them.
I
I've decided, fuck the algorithm. I'm just gonna repost all the clips, everything that I've ever clipped out. I'm reposting all of them right now. It's been months since I
on
posted
TikTok or
TikTok
Instagram.
reels. Yeah, I'm going with it. I may do them all on YouTube because I don't think I've done any of them on YouTube. The
Yeah,
shorts, yeah.
yeah. Well, somebody on YouTube, where they were complaining about me, a man, of course, right? And so he looks.
Finally,
I have,
you're being
I have.
noticed by men. The male gaze is set upon you. Yes.
Yes, and it's disapproving, which is what I love. So, he's like decided to do a deep dive into me, and oh wait, I just have another comment to make too.
What?
So he's like, I went on her website, and he looked at 45 jokes about my dead dad. He didn't watch it. He just looked at the numbers about how many people watched it. First
Okay.
of all, it's not, I don't really advertise it because I think the people that produced it they were going to try to monetize it. So I don't
Yeah.
even have the good version. I have a version that has holes in it,
Okay.
visual holes. So I'm just like, it's here if you want to watch it. FYI, the video drops out for like 2 minutes, but the audio is still there. So it's not like, hey, see this, okay? I'm not.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to have it up. Although,
Right.
whatever. I don't want to get into whatever.
Yeah.
So I just leave it up there, and this guy's like, oh, well, so and so, and starts listing all these dude comics that go on Rogan. Theirs is 1 million, and she's only da 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 da. It's like, okay, first of all, I'm not doing any right wing podcasts, so no, I'm not reaching that audience. And they're great comedy fans, by the way, if you are a comic that they like. But also, it's jokes about my dad dying. That's not the same as jokes about fucking chicks or whatever. God, you know what I mean? Like, it's a very limited audience.
It's niche. You're
Oh
an
my
artiste.
God.
You're the Wes Anderson of stand-up comedy about dead people. Come on.
So
I have, yeah.
So then a couple times ago when I was at Laughs, Dave and Angela, the owners, showed me this. So do you remember, I'm sure I talked about this, a guy sat on the front row and started barking. Like barking.
Yes, I remember that. That might have been last year. It might have been the year before. Yeah.
2 years ago, 2 times ago, right? And I let him do it twice. I let him interrupt a joke twice with barks. The third time, I'm like, you gotta fucking go.
Right.
And he did. And he wrote a horrible review of me. Didn't mention that he barked during my show. Just said it was his anniversary and they were kicked out. I'm like, what on earth?
Do you know why he was kicked out, Laurie? Because he was having fun. He was kicked out for laughing.
I couldn't take a joke. I can dish it out, but I can't take it. So if they sent me the link to that comment, and Dave turned off my camera because I'm sure he didn't want whatever was happening to be posted. But I have the audio, so maybe I'll look it up, sync it up, or maybe it'll just be another project I never get to because I have fucking 400 other things that I need to do that might make me money one day.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that I don't know. I think I was just there too. Like I think I think I was just in Seattle, so I don't know when I get to go there again. I also want to do. Oh, I also contacted Toronto. I've decided to go international, Laurie, and see what can be done.
You know what I did is I sent this club. Wait, I sent this person. I wrote them a card. I got a little card and
Snail
I said,
mail?
"Dear, yes, dear
Where?
person."
Oh wait, there is chat.
Worked those rooms very recently. I love them, and I'd love to come back. And I just want you to know that I love those rooms, and I had some of the best shows of my life there, and I'd love to return. Love, Laurie Kilmartin. Sent a sticker, okay? And that was it. I didn't do any credits. I'm like, Bruce, Bruce at Omnipop. You can give him you can give him a call. That's it. I don't know what to do. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
But you sent a card snail mail?
Yeah.
All right. What the hell? That's how I got in at Crackers back in the mid 2000s.
Oh yeah. Right.
I wrote a letter to Ruth. Ruth Ann. And then I did a weird gig in downtown Indiana at the what used to be the old Crackers downtown, and I think it got back to her, or she just got bored and I fell off her radar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also I did Colleen's Omaha Funny Bone one time. I'd like to do that again. I mean, there's a lot of clubs I'd like to do again.
I would like to do that too. Is that a Friday, Saturday? Is it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Friday, Saturday is then. If it's a Friday, Saturday, I think it's one show Friday, 2 Saturday, which isn't a lot of money. But if it's a Thursday, Friday, it'll be 1, 2, and 2, which is like okay money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hereafter in Seattle. I've heard nothing from comedians but that they don't advertise whatsoever and they expect you to do everything. And people even came to see me at Laughs because they had seen me at the hereafter and they're like, I wonder what she's like when she's not talking over a band because they play, there's like live music it's a toilet paper wall between the club and the live music part.
Yeah. And then you stay above where there's this
Yeah,
all night
right.
long until like
Yeah.
3 a.m, and you're like, I have never wanted to dance less. So last night I got the audience. I didn't my mother-in-law stuff didn't work very well, so I got kind of mad at the audience, and I went into my
Yeah.
how I've just my whole, and I named names, on stage. I didn't, and there was an ooh, and I'm like, this is public knowledge. I don't know why I'm the bad guy.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I just said, I've never looked at a 15-year-old young man and thought to myself, I bet I could trick him into touching my bits. And
Well,
then
what you did when you were 15,
which is
yeah.
the point of the joke, is that 15-year-olds should touch other 15-year-olds. I mean, how
Yeah,
how psyched would I have been if there would have been a 15-year-old young man who wanted to get in on this when I was
exactly.
15 instead of some
Yes,
32-year-old with a
right.
motorcycle? Gross.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
so yeah, and it didn't go well, Laurie.
I know it's weird. Like
It went well with the back of the room, actually.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, I don't want to become a back of the room comic. That's my nightmare. When that's happening, I'm like, uh-oh.
Too late. It
No,
already occurs.
in
But
my JetBlue story,
yeah,
at one point I thought, I go, I don't know the guy's name. I'm gonna call him Louis, and that just killed everything. Like people got,
shut it down.
oh yeah. So
Oh.
I'm like, all right, I guess I can't even do that. Whatever.
Why don't you
Um,
say Bill Cosby? And
well, different. Bill
crime.
Cosby
Yes.
drugged and raped. Yeah, different.
Yes.
Jackie, you got to keep these things in straight in your head.
Right. As a purveyor of the news from the stage, yes, please
Yes.
keep it accurate. I will say, did you see the Martin Short slate thing?
Oh, I didn't. I looked at it and I was like, I don't want to
I'm
make
not
time
going
for
to
this in
read
my life.
this.
But the onslaught of clips all weekend of Martin Short was so lovely and
Yes.
fun. Oh my God.
Right. First of all, Martin Short is great, and what that slate, haircut didn't like about him was the fact that Martin Short sincerely enjoys his work, and that sort of sincerity is to be mocked by hipsters, right?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like everyone was on Martin Short's side, but
Yes,
Conan
except for the
would
guy
always,
who wrote it. Yeah.
right. But Conan would always say that Martin Short and Steve Martin are the best panel guests because they come with everything. Like you just sit back and they have the whole thing planned. You don't have to ask any questions. You have to try to make chemistry. Like you just set them up and let them go. And a lot of actors and comics aren't even like that necessarily. Bill Burr's good at doing a chunk, but there's a lot of actors are terrible at it. It's like pulling teeth, and it's like, hey, you're not that interesting, so try. But these guys have that kind of old school sort of
it's
ethic of show business.
18th year of me doing the Dork Forest. You should know that my favorite guests are plug and play. People who
yes, of course.
love the door, and Kyle does. Are you still doing Rad? Still doing Rad. Okay, so Kyle has a podcast, and this is Rad, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
there is a chat happening. It's different in Riverside FM. Yeah,
guys, our listeners are turning it off right now.
But yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Oh, I know. I'm doing the lab tomorrow or tonight,
okay.
Really. Wait, it's Monday. Yeah, I'm doing Mermaid Hour. Valerie Tosi, is that right?
Nice. Yes. Yes.
I'm doing that tonight. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I do have a bunch of local shows. I want to update my website, but I don't know. I kind of want to get rid of the looking back theme. The great 10-minute. It's a really fun thing to do, but I recorded that thing. Kyle and I did it where I
It's done.
tell 10 minutes of car jokes into the ass camera of a car, his
Right.
car. I did it for clips, and I used those clips, and now it's months later, and I would
Right.
like everyone to buy a beanie, I guess. I don't know what I want them to do now. I want them to come to Acme, but I have Made of Bees beanies, and I have a new t-shirt purveyor, but I did not know that my new t-shirt purveyor is in Orange County, kind of by Anaheim. So I thought I was going to save a lot of money in shipping, but I'm not going to save a lot of money in the fact that I have to drive there.
Oh, that's awful.
Hey, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And let's do Comic of the Week.
We're back. Okay, this lady popped up on my Instagram. I don't know. I've never heard of her. She's hilarious. I don't know where she's from. I can't tell from her it looks like Texas, but New York as well. Like she's doing local spots in Austin, so maybe Austin. But anyway, her name is Leah Sampson, S-A-M-P Sampson, and she's really funny.
That's
And
awesome. I can't wait
great
to check her out.
tags, really short jokes, like
Oh.
really, really good.
Just tight.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, and her Instagram is official Leah, Leah, like the Bible. Sampson, not like the Bible. There's a P in it. And there you go. So
Wow,
check her
two
out.
Bible references from Laurie Kilmartin here on this week's show.
Jackie, I found the Lord in the Northwest.
Well, that's where he was actually in the Northeast. I don't know if you've read the Book of Mormon.
Oh, right.
But
For what? That's where it all started, right? And then they went and searched for a lake.
Yeah, then they needed out. They were too weird for New York State.
Jackie, I am exhausted because, all right, I flew Alaska Airlines this time, right?
Wow.
It's a nonstop, Burbank to
Okay.
Seattle.
All right.
It's nice. I get an email at like 1 a.m. this morning saying my 6 a.m. flight, whatever time it was, 6:15, 5:50, I don't know, was canceled. But they're going to put me on another flight tomorrow, September 11th. And I was like, wait, no, I'm not staying here all day. What are you talking about? And but their tone was, don't worry, we got you covered. And I was like, oh, the next flight? No, all the flights were canceled from Burbank. It was a crew thing, which tells me COVID. They probably got knocked out because of COVID. And but they it turned into a nightmare trying to get a hold of anyone. And then I said, fuck it, let's see what Southwest has. And they had a very overpriced flight today that I took just to get back. And so now I have to duel with Alaska this week.
Yes.
Because they'll refund me the flight, but it's not the amount the amount I paid Southwest is much greater than the amount the original ticket was for. Of course, because I bought the ticket 4 hours before the flight took off.
Yes.
So and then I got no sleep because I was angry. And
it's hard to sleep.
I feel
angry.
like shit.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
It's I have my own rage, but it's the fact that I did a lot of spraying in my garden, and spider mites are back anyway. So yeah,
spider mites are not spiders. They're
tiny. There's little webs, which I think is why they're called spider mites, but they're mites at MITES. And
yes,
I've been spraying Captain Jack organic dead bug, and I've also been spraying neem oil. And the journey continues. And Gordy, he ate like a rotten tomato off of and then pooped in the house because there was trouble because he ate a rotten tomato. Where is he?
Gross.
It's gross.
That's got to be some nasty shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris came out because of course it was in her bathroom, and because he was trying
to
get
out.
Bathroom. Yes.
Okay.
He did as much as he could. He went to tile, and
that's good.
He's not a dumb dog. He's just it's just selfish. What?
Yes.
He couldn't get out.
Do you have a little doggy door for him?
We don't. I saw your doggy door for your dog that you slide that wood thing in.
Yeah, it's just a little plastic door. If you don't want to use it.
Did William cut that out for you? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, very easy.
We have
very
those
easy.
security. We have those security We have the security, same kind
Screen
of screen
doors.
doors
Yeah.
that you have. So.
Yeah. You stopped by. You startled the hell out of me. You said, I'm coming by in 10 minutes. I almost jumped out of my skin. I'm like a visitor.
I was trying to bring books for your son, manga.
Yes.
I forgot to bring them.
Thank you. But you drove
so
over
I said,
with the
can
intention.
we go to lunch?
Yes, and we went to Bob's. I got my free lunch courtesy of Drew Carey, the great Drew Carey, who's buying lunch for all the striking writers at Bob's Big Boy. You just show your Writers Guild card, and you had to pay full price for yours.
Right, because I'm just in SAG, and even though he's in SAG, he's not buying stuff for SAG. Probably because SAG is
no
a
one
lot
in SAG
bigger.
is helping anyone.
He can't buy it for everybody. He's doing it for the writers, and I very supportive.
Yeah, SAG is a gigantic union, and if like, you'd have to be like The Rock to be able to pay for everyone's meals in SAG, you know.
Crazy that The Rock and Oprah are asking for people to donate to Maui, and they're only donating 10 million each. When I mean, I don't. I mean, it's nice of them to give 10 million, but there was a little bit of backlash that they didn't just go 100 million each or whatever. I'm watching this thing on Max, HBO Max.
Yeah.
Called Selena and Chef. It's Selena Gomez learning how to cook with famous chefs.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's adorable. And I just watched the Thanksgiving episode today. And she donated every episode she donates $10,000 to whoever the chef wants to donate to. And in this episode, it was a Thanksgiving episode, so she donated herself $100,000 to feedingamerica.org. All right. So let's go to break. Let's be back from break. And here we are. What do you got this week? This is my question.
Well, let's see. Wednesday, I'm doing the pleasure chest. And then, excuse me, is it Wednesday? I think so. Thursday, I am flying. I'm doing Telluride. I'm doing a comedy festival in Telluride, Colorado.
Oh, that's right.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Extremely low paying. But you know, it's Telluride. It's something. And so it's more of a fun thing. But I'm flying out on Thursday, and I'm missing my son's water polo game. I missed a tournament this weekend. It really does hurt, too. I wish they would give me their schedules. Like, I don't have a ton of road work, but I keep getting it on the weekends. They have tournaments, you know? Right. So that really hurts my heart. Yeah. He had an incredible shot from his cage where he just threw the ball to the other goal and got a goal. It was like, he caught the other goalie sleeping. Yeah, it's really like fucking epic. And I didn't see it in person. It hurt, but whatever. But
did they have video, or did they have video?
Pardon? There is video. One of the dads records every single game and posts it on YouTube on a YouTube channel, so I'll be able to see it. And someone else took a little video, but there's an official in the way, so hopefully he's got a better shot. But yeah, so I'll be in Telluride this weekend. It'll be fun, short little sets, and it's like a huge festival with a ton of musicians, like high profile musicians. So I'll get to enjoy music. Jackie, you know, I can't tear myself away from concerts. So
who are the musicians? Do you know, or have you heard of any of them?
Not off the top. I saw that. I made notes like 2 weeks ago, but I'd forgotten. But like, I think Bonnie Raitt, like that level of like, holy shit. And
that's neat.
Did it seem to you like every single comic but you and me went to Beyonce last week?
It's felt like everyone went to see Beyonce. Yeah, I did notice that. That was nuts. I was like, okay, you have Beyonce money.
Yeah.
And
I also dreamt of it. I mean, it's at least $1,000.
I also don't have Beyonce interest, right? Like, I'm not going to sit on the phone or the computer trying to get tickets to Beyonce, even though I'm slightly interested, right?
It would a great show.
It would be something.
I would love to see a great show, but also I don't like like when I was watching people, a lot of people have every single song memorized, and I'm like, oh, it's for those people. Were I to stumble in and be like, oh, the single ladies, I know that one, like, I should be stabbed. It feels like she has so many intense fans, and this is her gift to them. So it didn't even occur to me that I should be, clomping in,
Right.
in jeans.
Well, and I always think whenever I see like a really famous, like where people are that intense of a fan, if I see
Yeah.
that show, I feel like just like what you said, it's like that is a waste to let me get a ticket when someone
Right.
would like
Yeah.
literally climb over barbed wire to see Beyonce.
Yeah.
And
same with Taylor Swift. Like,
Taylor
like
Swift.
just a few weeks earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that I once saw Miles Davis play the trumpet in a small venue, and it could not have been wasted on anyone greater?
Oh no, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was in Provincetown, and he
my
played their
God.
town hall, and
Oh my
he was
God.
very good. But I mean, I didn't
was
care.
he, Jackie? Was Miles
I was
Davis
like,
pretty good?
yes, it was you know what it was? It was a waste. Laura House's husband or partner, right? Brian Swartz, who plays with
Yeah.
Oingo Boingo and is an amazing trumpet player. He would have loved to have seen Miles Davis in such a venue.
Yeah. He deserved your ticket.
Easily. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've ever like got to do that would have just been, amazing for someone else. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Oh, Husker Du. That's right. I got to meet Husker Du once.
Oh, right.
People
would love that. Yeah.
Kyle was the one who just put that in the chat. He was like, you told me once that you met Husker Du.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jackie, how about a lot of the shows we're on, in the city, we're with somebody who's somebody, they have rabid fans in the audience, and we're like, yeah, we watch like 2 jokes, and we're like, yeah, all right, I got it.
Right. I get to open for Maria Bamford and Brian Regan. Those are both 2 people that everybody would cut themselves to get to hang out with, like I do. So yes, it's exactly like that to some extent, except for that I know how lucky I am, and I'm a rabid fan myself. So that's the good news there. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Did you
read that Matt Rife? Okay, he's a comic. He's from Ohio. He has just like popped off incredibly, and it was all his own doing on TikTok and Instagram, and his team that he has video, recording everything. And but he sold like 600,000 tickets for his either this tour he's on now or upcoming. Yeah, it's like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
I'm like, that can't ever happen to me. It won't. I'm amazed it can happen to somebody, and it's cool that it's happening. Yeah,
but it is. Good
like,
for. I mean, if he likes performing, it's like seeing Bert Kreischer in front of like 11,000 people. That's really cool. But those stadium shows, I've only done. I've done like maybe 2 with Brian Regan, because he can do that, right?
Yeah, right.
And they were not, and they were cool, but they were hilariously ridiculous, right? And it wasn't, if you think about it, my favorite audience total is 220. That's my home club. That's nice. Acme. 220.
Perfect.
I can see I can sort of feel everybody. I can't see everybody, but I can feel that energy. The ceilings are low. I can ride that vibe. It's just like, right now, goosebumps. They just even fucking thinking about it, because I love it. I love a 220. Granted, 220 at $100 million each. That Robin Williams once did 4 shows at Acme.
How much were the tickets?
$50.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all. And they sold out immediately, right?
Sure. Right.
But he wanted to work on a new hour, and he wanted to do it in a club. He didn't want to do it,
Jackie, I'm the same way. Hey, clubs, I'd like to work out my new hour.
I'm looking at my face. My face is super round right now. You ever look at your face for an hour? It's hard. Where are we at here, Kyle?
I'm
What are
looking
we?
at
We're looking
a
at like
black
another.
square.
Yeah, we're
That has
looking at another
the name
7 minutes, I think.
Jackie Cation on it because we're recording on Riverside and it's really fucking up and it's making it difficult. I don't know when you're about to talk. I can't see
Yeah.
your mouth opening or closing, so I don't know if I'm about to step on you.
Your camera just got live for me, so I get to see your face again, which is nice.
Well,
I have scratchy voice. I'm what else? Oh, I'm going to El Segundo. I'm doing a gig
There you
down in
are.
El Segundo this week.
Dave Williamson's, right?
Yep, I'm doing that. So if anybody's left their wallet down there, why don't you text me and I'll pick it up for you. And
is that either that or comedy are the only things that get you to El Segundo?
I think so.
Yeah.
That seems about right. I'm hoping to have a date with my husband this week. I put it in the calendar without asking him. I just put it the calendar we share. I just said, "Want to have a date night?" And then he noticed it like 2 days ago. And he was like, "I would love a date night. What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. We have season tickets to Universal. We could go on a ride or something. That'd be kind of fun."
Yeah, if you've already paid for it, because fuck Universal, because they cut down the trees, they trimmed the trees so much that the strikers didn't have any shade. But if you've already paid for it, now every time you use it, you're actually taking money from them. For you not to go is actually benefiting Universal.
You know it. Oh, and I get this. I'm an influencer, Laurie. Tipsyelves.com. Figure it out, you guys. I believe in you. They last Christmas or the Christmas before or 2 Christmases in a row, I don't know, they have very funny Marvel themed Christmas sweaters.
Right.
And I thought they were funny. I bought a couple. I wear them occasionally. They make me laugh. And this year I got an email saying, "Hey, do you want free Halloween costumes? You could say that you got them from us for free, but you don't have to." And I was
like, "You don't even have to?"
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "I will." So, but then the ones that they sent me were kind of a limited choice. We could either be skeletons or pilots. So
pilots?
I picked.
What?
I know, right? So they're essentially pilot uniforms, or I was trying to think what else they look like. Kind of like they're jumpsuits. And so I ordered one for him and one for me.
You should start hanging around Alaska Airlines because they will use you in your pilot outfit.
It says Squadron on it, and then it has a giant American flag on the back. Should I paint one of the things blue?
Oh my God, the thin blue line. No, my
that'd
God.
be the worst.
Yes.
That'd be the worst.
You should paint them like a rainbow color, like paint the colony stripes a rainbow color. That would be kind of cool. Yep. And irritate all the right people.
Right. I could paint one blue, one red, and one green because there's a national forest. They have one of those thin green line flags, and I'm like, what do you guys believe in? Deforestation?
Oh my God. Right.
How do you support the job and not the flag? I love the idea of the United States. I'm trying to work on a bit about how
I know. I know.
It's got I came up with a couple of new lines, so I'm kind of psyched about it.
That's cool.
And I got to try them yesterday at Flappers and did not get to try them at the Improv, so I would like more sets, please.
I'll be putting in for spots as soon as we hang up here.
Oh yeah, you could do well no, you're going to Telluride. So
yeah, I'd like to so I kept doing like an hour-ish, an hour and 5 at Seattle. You know what?
Oh yeah. What?
So I worked with Nikita, I forgot his last name, and Andy Awancio were openers, right? Or they were both doing like 10s or 15s. And then the MC, her name is Queen Barnes, and her dad is Cliff Barnes, who was a comic I worked with in Seattle a long time ago. And like when I was first
generational comedy.
Yeah. And now it was really cool. Yeah. And he came by the Saturday shows, and I hadn't seen him in so long. So that was cool.
A guy named PJ Bio emceed last night for Jimmy Pardo's show, and he is related to Scott Baio, PJ Baio, but he's never met him.
That's weird. I mean,
yeah, they're cousins. Yeah.
You know who I used to have a crush on? Jimmy Baio. He was the other Baio who wasn't Scott, and because of that, I had like some empathy. Like, I'll love you, Jimmy. No one else will. They all love Scott. He was on Soap.
That is so you.
I know. Yeah,
he was on Soap. I love Soap.
I like the orphans. That's the kind of guy I like. You know, the needy ones.
Like the needy ones.
The Scott Baio adjacents.
Well, I'm gonna take these dogs for a walk. It's got to be 100 degrees outside.
It's awful. I'm starving. I feel like shit. I haven't slept, and
but other than that, comedy's gonna come from it. That's what we know.
Yay.
Guess what? I'm willing to not do the last 2 minutes of this.
Yeah, me too.
What about you? Okay.
Same.